Let me invite you to sit back, drop your jaw, tongue, and shoulders, take a deep breath, and if you wish, close your eyes for a moment and feel the beat within. In a few seconds, you just jumped from your head to your heart and felt the beat within, opening up to receive even more value and fulfillment out of your business and life. And today's episode. I'm your host, Nico van der Venne, confidant to successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, and founders striving to achieve everlasting fulfillment. Welcome to the Everlasting Fulfilment Podcast. And today we have a subject, ever and never. I wanted to record this episode because I recently had a conversation with a high-achieving C-level entrepreneur, because he combined two roles. He had his own business that he was running, and he was a CEO of another company. And in our conversation, it was at some point about the current struggles he was facing. And I asked him, what's the number one thing that you need? What you need right now? And he took a moment to think about it. And then he came up with what I actually need is some kind of support from my team, actions from my team, to be listened to. I would love to get a couple of things going, but I seem to find myself in some kind of position where not everybody is reacting in the way that I want. So yeah, I would love some more support from my team. And this was specifically in the role of a CEO. So we had an amazing team of people, very knowledgeable experts in each of their own domain. But his biggest problem was that he was the guy who had to, design the strategy, who had designed the strategy, but didn't get anything forward. So I asked him, okay, I hope you don't mind my asking, but what's your biggest fear? What's about your current situation? What's your biggest fear? And he was saying, well, if it goes on like this, I have the feeling that I'm going at this all alone. I'm going to have to do this alone, or be a very directive leader instead of a supporting leader. And I don't know at this point what results this could bring. This could be no results, or even worse, bad results. And the company might suffer in this situation. So I said, okay, that's not great. You're kind of in a pretty bad position. And I asked him the other question of what's your deepest desire at this moment with this situation? He said, well, actually, collaboration, getting the noses in the same direction, and having people who listen, who don't judge, who don't take up the agendas and plan, basically taking over my job or anything like that, but try to get the company on a good track, moving forward. So I kind of isolated one thing there that came up several times, which was his feeling of being alone, isolated. And this is something that I've noticed in the years that have gone by. In my experience, is that a lot of leaders, they are lonely, they are isolated. I don't know if you recognize yourself in this, but I know it's a difficult position to be in. A lot of people depend on you. They look up to you. They might even look down on you. They might even have, resentments because you took up a position that they wanted. Or there's things that you want to do that they do not agree upon, but you're still the leader, so they have to. There's many different angles and stories going on because you're in a position of leadership, it's not always such a gift. I've seen many people strive towards getting, and I've been one of them, by the way, strive toward getting always, one step higher and achieving a little bit more, going for that next step, but ending up feeling unfulfilled, kind of empty. So I was kind of thinking like, if I ever get to that position, I will get it. I will get the right stuff. I will feel fulfilled. Or if I ever have that team, or if I have ever have that amount, or so many evers that came up in the past. And basically, what I dare to say is ever is is a part of never. It's not gonna happen if you are in that position, because you're gonna see things repeat themselves. These stories will repeat themselves unless you find a way to get through the veil of that isolation. So what else did I ask him? Is what did you try in the past? And he said, well, I open heartedly communicated with everybody. So I also told them that I was unsure if we had to take that direction, or really honestly saying a couple of things that might be vulnerable. You might be putting yourself out there. And okay, so next, what I asked was, after trying that, what did you hate most that happened then? And he said, in all honesty, the effect that people were using what I said against me. And that's a deal breaker right there. It's a pity to say this, but there's a lot of leaders who are open hearted. And that's a very, that's a good thing. That's something that we should embrace as part of the team. If a leader says, I have a very bad day today and I will need your help to get through this, um, if you're a great team and if you have trust in that team, well, basically, not really trust, but if you know that whatever you do in a positive way will bring the company forward, and in any case, the company moves forward, you yourself move forward, and you get advantages there as well. So why wouldn't you just say, okay, you got a bad day, you are the person that I report to. What can I do to help you? Um, in the past, I've heard a lot of people say, whenever we get a new boss, whenever we get a new, that word ever comes back. And I've noticed that never, it's never good enough. It's never what you want. It's never gonna be the pink glasses on, beautiful sunny sky, etc. No, you're gonna have to compensate or be open to assisting somebody that you might not even like. But what's the point here? The point is that you want to move forward. And as the leader, if you come into the situation where you're ending up in an isolated area and the symptoms are clear, you don't get misinformation, but you just get right enough information. You just, they give you the tip of the iceberg, or information comes in a little bit later, or you're not joined in on certain conversations. So there's a lot of symptoms out there that can give you the idea of something's wrong. Um, that's the point where you need somebody who you can trust and you can talk to get you through that, because you shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't be alone in this story. And if it's not from your subordinates or the teams that you're working with or the board of directors or anything like that, you should have somebody that you can, give a call or send an email and give them a rant or whatever of what's going on, and who asks you a couple of questions that gets you through this, who gives you another perspective, or who might be able to tell you off. Sometimes we don't even know what kind of jerks we are. I know for myself, at some point, somebody actually told me that when I'm saying something that I'm not sure about, and I still do it, by the way, you might even notice it on this podcast sometimes, is I start laughing. So I say what I think and I start laughing, or I make a joke right after that. Somebody told me that to the face, and it gave me a very clear perspective of, wow, yeah, that's kind of a coping mechanism. That's kind of a protection layer that comes up to avoid the reaction on the other side from the other person. So yeah, there's a lot of things that can aid you in moving on from that isolated feeling, or situations where you don't get enough collaboration from your team, or you have a fear of opening up in your team or with whomever is around you, because we have to be honest that when you're in a leadership position, there are a lot of people around you who have an agenda, and it might not be an agenda that might affect you in the future or whatever, but in some way you are involved. And at a certain time, or after a certain while, um, you get very, what do you call it, not scared, no, it's the word, you get very apprehensive or suspicious of everybody else. And one thing that I've learned is, because I love the journey more than the destination, there is a lot less agenda in what I do. At this point, I am in an environment that's high demanding. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of political stuff, a lot of financial stuff, a lot of changes, people leaving, coming, going, a lot of questions that come up for the future. And one thing that I know is, if I can be that one stable pillar in the environment who supplies answers to the questions, searches for the answers, searches for answers for the people that have the questions within my team, or who feel uncertain, or who get shouted at sometimes because they're, this is a supporting department. So we sometimes get angry calls or angry emails. I have to be that one leader that is there to support them. And nobody should feel alone. And of course, at some point, you need somebody to trust and talk to. And that's one of the reasons why I started my services as a confidant, because I know how many people are out there who are struggling to get their story on the table, just to have a chat about it. Because when you talk about something, this is a beautiful effect about when you talk about, and you probably you've noticed this in the past, when you talk to a friend about something and it's been in your head for a while, and then suddenly you talk about it, you get images of, or ideas, or epiphanies, or things that come up, and you say, damn, right, I need to do something with this. And you hold that really close by, and you just, tackle it and use it. And then you get push through the barriers. So yeah, if you see yourself or hear you say, if I ever, or whenever we, or if we ever, if you hear that, keep in mind that you're saying never, and swap that over to when I take XYZ. You make it as if it is a definite and it is being done. And that changes your perspective completely. So that's what I told the guy I was talking to, because I asked these questions, and they were pretty spot on, apparently. And after the last question, so after trying all this, what did you hate the most? I asked him, so what would you, or who would you be if nobody took advantage of you being so open and you'd get a second chance? He'd say, well, I think I'd try it again, but just in a different context or with different people. And that's when I said, yeah, that's why you're talking to me. And after that, we had a couple of very long conversations, I can assure you. So yeah, that's what I wanted to give you today. So if you are a leader who feels this way and who really wants to tackle it and wants to have these deep conversations, I base my services on radical truth, deep conversations, and learning to enjoy the journey, which helps every CEO, founder, and entrepreneur to to achieve that everlasting fulfillment, because these are really the pillars that push them forward. So yeah, that was it for today, for this episode. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget to go on the website and check out the ebook. There is something new coming soon. There will be a everlasting letter where you can keep up to date with all the new episodes that come out. We are building it. It is a continuous effort to optimize and learn and give you the most I can give of all the knowledge that I've was able to share on the show, but also the knowledge that I've been compiling for the last 25 years in different aspects, from leadership to spirituality to personal development to high achieving, all of those beautiful things that can give you a better view of your next day. So remember to jump from head to heart and feel the beat within. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.